Good morning, here's Kramer's Corner with daily technical updates. It is Monday the 4th of December. I do apologize, I was traveling Thursday and Friday last week, so no updates for me there. But now I'm back, and we'll start with the S&P 500 as usual. Very close to test the July peak here at just above 4,600. RSI is pointing to higher levels. There's no divergence, so it's supporting this move here, and I think we could see this level be taking out here fairly shortly. What we can say in general is that the US market normally have their Santa Claus rally just before Christmas, so it's a little bit early this year. So I still expect we will have a little bit of a correction in the coming week or so. But the trend is still up. Interesting to see that Nasdaq is not really taking off. Can't really struggling here. It's been basically trading sideways for the past week or so after being rejected at the 161.8 projection at 16,122. There's still some support, strong support here at 15,744, and it will not close the gap here. I don't expect that. Maybe it will be tested, but I don't think it will be closed. So still an uptrend, but flat a little bit because some of the big names, they are struggling a little bit. Let's have a look at what happened in Seng. Seng did. Let's see here, if we can get an update. There we go. It actually broke its 17,000 support late last week and followed through this morning. And so it's actually resuming its downtrend. There's no strong support until around these 14,863, around that level, and the lows here from more or less the same time last year. So it looks fairly heavy indeed. We have EUROSTOXX 50. Moving higher, closed above this gap here. Fairly easy to say after testing it just once. Really stretched, but there's no divergence, so we could see a test of the July peak at 44.91.92 before we see a larger correction. That was just a little one there, so I think we'll see a move up towards that previous peak. DAX also higher, very close to its 16,529 peak, also from July. No divergence on the RSI, so really strong upwards move. We are a little bit lower this morning on the future. But still, there we could see it be tested. There's no divergence on the RSI, so it does indicate higher levels on the DAX index. Same picture, more or less, on the there's a little bit divergence picking up on the AEX, but I think we'll see the 780 level to be tested here fairly shortly before we see a correction. Expect some strong support around 763 there. Belgian markets. It cracked once again the 35.75 resistance, and the next one is at the 36.32, and we have the 200 moving average coming down. So we should see a little bit of a resistance or correction or rejection from that level, I believe. CAC 40 above 7,330. Bouncing also from this morning here early. We are a little bit lower on the, as we can see here, on the CAC 40 CFD. So I think 7,300 should be tested here this morning. So it's stalling a little bit, but I mean the uptrend is still intact until we break back below the 7,200 support area. Swiss market. A little bit higher this morning, but we have resistance at 10,963 around that level, and the falling trend line here, there should also be some resistance. But we are in an uptrend. It has been lagging the other markets, but it has kept up or followed up here. And we have the 200 moving average. So in this area here, just below 11,000, expect some strong resistance, and where we could see a correction from. Moving on to FX and the euro dollar. We got rejected at the 110. It was a little bit premature. We could have seen it move up to the 786 retracement at 111, just below 111, but it got rejected there as 110, hammered back down, and now we are in a little bit of a limbo. But what is interesting is that we have the 200 moving average rising, whereas the 100 moving average is declining. So a little bit of conflict there on the medium to longer term picture, really, or the underlying bias. 55 moving average coming up here, so there's a little bit of way to that, but still. So there's a little bit of battle going on. But what is interesting is that the RSI is still in the bullish sentiment, despite breaking below 60. It hasn't broken below 40, and there's still a little bit of way to go. So we should see higher euro-dollar levels in coming weeks, but it should not be ruled out that we can see some weakness down to around 108. I don't think this area around here, 107.60, will be tested. Very strong support around that, but I think we will start picking up. But definitely some weakness. Euro sterling falling after the bet, after taking out 86.40. No support until around 85, and it looks like we are moving that direction. Cable reached the 61.8 retracement at 127.20, almost spiking up to the strong resistance here just above 127.45. So the very strong resistance around that level here, and I think we will see a correction down to around 125.46, but we are still in an uptrend. We could dip down and catch these 100 moving averages, which also here is declining, as we saw on the euro dollar. But the 200 moving average coming up here, that's the red one. So that will add some support. But it's not unlikely we could see that. If it takes out the 127.46, 45, 46 level, then we are looking at 129. Dollar yen. Very volatile, but close below the 147.32 supports. Currently at the 38.2 retracement of the entire uptrend here, so that's why we are testing at the moment. But we have some strong support here around 144.70, 80 level, just around 145. We could see that we have a negative sentiment on our side. We are in a bearish trend, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. So we could see a little bit more weakness, but I expect some volatility where they will try to get back above the 147.32. Euro yen touching the 786 retracement of that little last leg up there at 159.10. Expect a little bit of bounce. What is also interesting is that the RSI did Friday close above 40. Currently we are a little bit below. We are at 39, but if it bounces from here, then it could move back up, and then there's no negative sentiment. So that could be a little bit of an interesting day. Where will we end tonight? Also yen hasn't moved much really, just stepping sideways around these 97.67 there. We have strong resistance at 98.55, and we have some support, strong support here at 96.82. That should be observed. If it takes out that, well, then we're looking at 95.85 support area. Aussie dollar slowly ticking higher, and there's still room up to around 68, possibly 67. The dollar index was below the 103 support, now back above, and we could see it trying to move back towards the 104. I don't think we will take out the 104.40 resistance here, but we could test this level here around the 104 a little bit later. We are still in a negative trend, however, and supported by the negative RSI, and the sentiment are also negative, so we could move towards the 101.62 strong support. Let's see that, but some really strong movements here. But keep an eye on where we enter the next couple of days. A lot of activity in the metals market, especially precious metals, where we saw gold spot spiking up this morning at 2,134 and a little bit higher, reaching this projection extension level here at 21.31 and massively being sold off. We could then now see some support around the 2032. We're already back to the 38.2 retracement, but 2032 possibly dipping down to the 61.8 retracement at 2009. But the uptrend will be intact. There's no divergence on the RSI, and we could see gold trying to move higher in coming days. But let's see how this is like a shooting star at the moment. But let's see where we end the day. But really strong, heavy volatility. Silver also spiked higher this morning, very close to these 26 retracement, just a few cents below, and now we are on the weaker side, trying to bears are trying to take control, and I think we could see a move down lower. Let's see if we have had this retracement here, and see where can we put that as well. Just around 24.39, around that level. I think we could see a correction down to that retracement level. On the copper, where have we? Oh, there we are. Copper trying to move up to the 400, but can't really. Well, it got some really good traction Friday, but now it's being sold off. To look out for 382 support. That is key, and the 200 moving average. I think it will be tested, but we are in a bullish sentiment, a bullish trend, so it will most likely just bounce off and move higher. On the energy side, Brent likely to test the 77.24 support in this range here, where it's usually got rejected here in the last day of November, but now I think we will see it being tested 77.24 and likely to be broken. And if it takes it out the lows here from a couple of weeks ago, well, then we are looking at 71.95, 72.5 support area. On the WTI, very close to test the support here, and it seems quite heavy at the moment after also being rejected there at the 79, 77. I think we will see a move lower towards the 70 and below 70 level. Finally, on the treasury yields, the US treasury yields, after taking out 436, it tried to get back above, was rejected at that level of 436 and the 100 moving average, and the and then was sold off heavily Friday. Apparently there were some comments out and touching the 419.5 support around 420, bouncing from here. And I think we will bounce a little bit, and we will probably be range bound between the 436 and the 420, possibly dipping down to the 407 here in the coming weeks. We are in a downtrend on the yields. All right, that's a long one today. There was also a lot of stuff to talk about, but that's the end. Have a nice day and happy trading.